All right, we are back, Mogwai. Who do you like for this game?
Well, I am going to have to side with Charmer, and so instead I'm going to go with Lumi in a close 2-1. I think LifeCoach already struggled against this sort of deck the other day. Obviously, we saw Super Digit with a very clutch victory, but you have to draw the Burning Oil, I think, and that's easier said than done. So I wasn't very impressed by Lumi's play.
Yeah, Burning Oil really came in clutch. We saw the double hourglass and the side shot pickup as well.
Exactly.
It's going to be tight. I think it's very close to a 50-50 matchup based on, whoever is able to kind of play better. Again, LifeCoach and Super JJ electing to bring this deck despite expecting a lot of Storm, right? So they feel as if with proper play and this Burning Oil tech, it can be favorable.
And we'll have to see. Lumi is not going to play into the... I mean, obviously, he also has... he has watched the matchup prior, right? So he could have taken notes on top of that, and we'll just have to see. Obviously, LifeCoach can't overcome any matchup, really. He's one of the top players out there. But I think Lumi... I think a lot of the public eye has not realized how good Lumi is in Artifact.
No, I agree. Lumi is one of the players that has kind of the best tournament records so far.
Yes, exactly.
He's the king of finishing second place. Let's get into this game now.
Here we go.
Mogwai is laughing. Second place is pretty good.
Oh, it is. It is. I concur. Here we go. Triad versus Triad on lane 1. And Drow. Okay, no. That Drow over there. Yeah. All right. Ogre Magi and Kana on the 3rd lane. So Kana and Axe both, here's that you want in lane 1 are spawned in lane 3. Interesting board state here and interesting hands.
Yep. So we can see right off the bat, LifeCoach drawing a pretty top-heavy hands, time Primal Roar, with no Salamander favor in hand and no Stars Lion in deck.
We see only one available play for this turn, and that is the Unearthed Seekers, which is going to go down here for LifeCoach in lane 1. Because Kana is already deployed, this Unearthed Seekers is a very safe play. It's also the lane you're not likely to play Drow Ranger in, since you already have a green hero there. So that Unearthed Secrets is going to provide LifeCoach with good value, significant value throughout this match. And I gotta say, I love the one-off of Unearthed Secrets, because it can be a very bad top deck.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a card that has been kind of largely not overrated in this deck.
I think it's overrated.
Well, people looked at it at first and kind of declared it as 3 of auto-include, and I think it falls short of that. Still a very competitive level card. So now Lumi is kind of forced to fight for the right lane. Dodges the Axe with the Drow, but really kind of a detriment for Lumi. His kind of starting off in the right lane. Normally you want to fight for as left of a lane as possible.
Yeah, double Mist of Avernus here for LifeCoach. Interesting draws, as this Mist of Avernus right here is very powerful.
Yep. So we're going to be misting up mid for LifeCoach. LifeCoach basically looking like he's electing to push mid and left. He's going to have to start developing value into the left lane. Probably Beastmaster there next turn, because you're just looking to give up that right lane here if you're LifeCoach. And let's check this out, because you can see the overcommitment, and part of your objective is to kind of race this down. That being said, maybe he's looking at his hand, realizing he doesn't have tools for racing. He could try to contest this lane.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. This red-green deck does have potential to be very aggressive early on, but it also relies on those draws. It has a very high curve, so you can draw your Spring the Traps, your Primal Roars, your Berserker's Call, and not really have optimal plays to go for, even though this is a pretty solid start for LifeCoach, but we have seen this before. Super JJ had a tremendous start with the turn 1 Mist of Avernus in the first game against Strifegro, and he still lost. So it's that key turn where they can ramp into Salamandre's Incarnation of Salamandre's and then Thunder God's Wrath and wipe your board down. So you also have to really be careful with allocating your health items properly.
Yeah, I will say, to Lumi's detriment, he has no blue heroes coming back in deployment. Blue heroes are squishy, so they die a lot, but this death, at the very least, gives them mobility, right? Without that mobility and without the ability to kill heroes for stuff like Blink Daggers, you could see something like LifeCoach trying to pressure an Ancient Kill in the mid lane. I mean, you've already got the Mist of Avernus here. Presumably, we won't see that, but he has the option for it.
Static field right there. Lumi capitalizing on initiative, going for a Foresight and picking off the Triad Protector, which had 1 health left. And LifeCoach does have the potential of playing a Stonehold Elite to trade with this Triad Protector, which I don't dislike as a play, but it's also very tempting to play that here to help contest the Kana lane as well. It's not an easy decision to make, but he opts to make the trade here.
Yeah, if you're a life coach, basically you're thinking, okay, the value play is on the right lane. You want to play it here. It eats a melee creep. It's in Kana's lane, so it'll eat a melee creep every turn. That's insane value, but in Artifact, you have to think so much more than that. You have to think about which lane matters. This looks like a terrible trade, but this is the lane that's going to matter.
Yes.
Life coach already has dominance mid. He's given up right, and this left lane is the most important lane to pressure for him. So even though it's a significantly worse trade, but he needs to do it.
Mist of Avernus available here alongside Smash their defenses as potential plays for LifeCoach on this second lane. Prey on the Weak, a very slow Prey on the Weak here to just prevent and slow down damage on this lane by Lumi. I think, I like the Smash the defenses.
Very powerful Smash.
Yeah, it thins, it stops him from drawing.
When you zoom out, did you see that? The chain went like 3D. I've never seen that before. I'll show you. Dude, that's so... Okay.
I honestly didn't even realize it.
So we have Life Coach's ability to play the Mist of Avernus here. He could just kind of replicate it into this lane. And again, this does give him a potential sort of 80 threat. At the very least, it'll force Lumi to commit something.
I like it.
It'll force Lumi to commit something basically to prevent this from getting anciented.
I like that play. Annihilation is available next turn, but if Life Coach does preserve initiative after this Ignite play, then he can potentially Gust later down the line and stop that. But we do see Arcane Assault in Lumi's hand, which can say no to that. And there's the double Thunder God's Wrath. All he needs is Ramp and Incarnation of Salamene, and that could be a very nasty swing in Lumi's favor. We've seen that play, that set of play, you know, with Incarnation of Salamene into double Thunder God's Wrath, just do a complete 180 on the match and change things. So he has to watch out for that. And you were saying that earlier, that in this matchup, you generally want to equip your health items onto a hero who has already a high health stat to avoid double Thunder God's Wrath from wiping you out completely.
Yep. I will say this deployment on the Ogre is huge. Now, Life Coach has initiative, but Lumi's going to steal it back with Arcane Assault here with the Zeus and proceed to annihilate mid. This mid lane, even though it has 2 Mists of Avernus, even though it's down to 7, Lumi is still going to put up a defense here, I think, which would be pretty huge. It forces Life Coach to commit extra tools. Now, Lumi might choose not to do this if he really doesn't want the option for something like a Time of Triumph to just kill this over the top. If you commit to defending a tower, it needs to stay alive, or at least force a ton of resources out of the opponent to take it.
Now that you've lost initiative, I think Berserker's Call is justified here. It enables you to pressure a lot of damage on this lane, clear the path for that creep in the middle, and also follow that up with a Call of the Wild to push some heavy damage here.
Yeah, absolutely. You're just developing your units on this board. Maybe Lumi is able to defend mid, but at the very least, you're pressuring left. And again, I mean, this is a hard choice if you're Lumi. This could possibly end up being better for Life Coach, because this mid tower, while Lumi has the defense on it, here's the Annihilation here off of initiative. Huge Annihilation, but Lumi's defending the tower that's at lower health. Against something like a Time of Triumph 2 turns from now, there is a risk to this. Giving up the tower that is maybe more defensible is often what you want to do.
But preserving the Berserker's Call for this lane right here, wiping out Kana and slowing down this lane significantly. This is big for Life Coach. And I was wondering why he opted to preserve it there, but it was because he wanted to use it here, and I love this play. And as you said, now I think with that line, you know, that series of events that happened here, I think the race onto the Ancient is a bit out of the, out the window, but the, takedown on lane 1 is definitely possible, and I think that's his strategy now. He does have initiative in this lane, and a green hero incoming as well. So I think Triad should go in lane 1 here, potentially.
So if you're Lumi, you need to start planning for your combo. As you mentioned, the combo on the Salamene is basically predicated on getting a blue and a green hero on the same lane together, because you want to ramp into Salamene, but you don't have the Sanctum in hand, so you can't even add the Gust onto that right now.
Yeah, this is tough. Lumi's definitely feeling the pressure right here. This is where Life Coach has to pull a trigger. He has to be as aggressive as he can. He has to capitalize on 2 blue heroes being in the fountain, and he has to push damage. So he's going to deploy Triad onto the second lane to try to get some pressure going on there. He can play a Rosely Druid, potentially 2 if he tops like another one. And he does, like I said, have initiative on that first lane, so him drawing something like a duel would be nice. He also has Primal Roar, but obviously you would opt to go for duel instead. Switching to lane 1, interesting.
Yep. So if you're Lumi, all you're really thinking about is trying to defend this lane. I actually think I really like this play by LifeCoach. He knows he has initiative here. This is the turn where the Annihilation can't happen left. And you know 2 turns from now, you can deploy mid with Time of Triumph for inevitability. This is a deviant line of play, playing the Triad outside of the lane that you would normally need to commit for, but he's thinking ahead, and I really like this.
Yeah, I honestly really like it here too. He could just go for, he could either go for a Gust,
Or
a duel, exactly. Gust or duel. Duel enables him to follow that up with a Rose Leaf Druid, and he could push even more damage. That's the thing. I think I may like duel more just because you need that damage on this tower before these 2 blue heroes come in.
Yep. If
But
you're
we'll see.
LifeCoach, you're mostly thinking about which tool you want to be able to preserve from hand.
There
There's
it
the duel
is.
coming out now. And I think you're right. He'll follow it up with Rose Leaf or potentially something like a Mist of Avernus. But if you're LifeCoach, you just want to put as much pressure onto this left lane as possible. This is kind of the one turn you have access to before something like an Annihilation threat comes down.
Exactly.
And the great thing is, if you're LifeCoach, I mean, you can spring the trap from the right lane, and Lumi is on 8 mana on the right lane. So if Lumi wants to play for initiative left, he has to decline the Emissary of the Quorum on the right lane.
Exactly.
Which is huge.
Yeah, that just does not feel good if you're Lumi. Down goes the Rose Leaf Druid on the right. Blink Dagger onto the Beastmaster, blinking to the right to keep out pressing. That enables him to spring the trap from here and potentially pressure that as well. And if you are Lumi, you could just block one of those with a Rose Leaf Druid. That's pretty much all you can do. I mean, he may just Gust here, but this straight still happens. And this double Beast of Avernus is very strong, but he drops the Rose Leaf Druid here. I really like Spring the Trap, honestly.
Yeah, this position LifeCoach is in is looking amazing. Spring the Trap in place, as you mentioned. One of the really nice things about this is even without initiative on the right side, you're able to prevent the Emissary from coming down without a loss of initiative on the side of Lumi.
And that curve is not a bad thing at all. You kill this Triad Protector. You deny a green play here next turn. And now Lumi has 2 lanes he wants to annihilate, and only one of them can happen. But down goes Chainmail, which he got from the secret shop, I assume.
Yep.
And I just realized. Okay, Chainmail, new meta.
So LifeCoach has the option to pass for initiative here if he doesn't want to let the opportunity of an Emissary come down here. You know you have nothing to play over here with your Axe, unless you really want to try to stall it out with the Mercenaries. But he's deciding he wants to keep his Beastmaster out of the range of a Thunder God's Wrath, which is always an important thing to do when playing around Zeus. There's the Emissary, and now you've got the initiative on LifeCoach's end, unless he wants to stun it with Roar. Which is probably just not worth it.
Yeah, especially with double Gust in hand. I think you take the pass here, you get initiative here, you deploy Legion Commander, and all of a sudden these 2 lanes are looking to be very threatened. Primal Roar is a very powerful play. Potentially, he goes for the Primal Roar now, though. He does stun here. Okay, I guess slowing down Death. Because the thing is, when you're playing blue-green, they can one-shot your tower, so your Ancient. So keeping this tower alive is always a very, viable play to go for.
It's going to make this game go a little late, though, which is always spookier to do here. Gives up initiative, and now Lumi has the option to play for defense left. LifeCoach basically just trying to get a Time of Triumph online.
He's playing into Annihilation after having given up initiative. I'm not sure I like this. Yeah, I don't think going double there is right at all.
You can't double down into Annihilation. LifeCoach may be basically reading that Lumi doesn't have an Aghanim Sanctum in hand. When you don't play the Sanctum, it telegraphs you don't have one. And if you don't have one, maybe giving up initiative on the right lane with that Roar isn't so bad. Because if they don't have Sanctum, they can't do Gust into Selamene.
That's true. But obviously you could always draw it. And again, playing into the Annihilation there. I mean, I don't know. I still don't know. I still don't know if I agree with giving up initiative there. I think initiative here is very, especially when you have double Gust. And it's harder to push the damage on this first lane. There's more damage, basically, to be pushed here. There's the Incarnation of Selamene. Card draw, Prey on the Weak, double Emissary of the Quorum. LifeCoach has to be very careful here.
Yep, you've got the stars line. The Time of Triumph will make it harder for him to be kind of effectively lethal through the Wrath. There's the Annihilation.
There's the Boom Boom, which opens up this lane for Zeus to just go kind of crazy on it, but he doesn't. He does lack the green presence right there, and no Blink Dagger as of now.
But at this stage of the game, you don't need the green. I mean, you can drop Annihilation, do double Thunder Gods. I mean, you might have a third at that point of the game, do some drawing, and that's really, really huge.
Very powerful.
LifeCoach has the mobility to put something left to try to stop that from happening.
I do like Gust here, though.
Yeah, I think you do have to take the Gust here if you're LifeCoach. You could be looking at Aurora instead. If you're not worried about the third Annihilation, which isn't really a copy in his deck, takes the duel on the blue, not afraid of green. Emissary does have the option of coming down.
Interesting. Interesting line of play here, going for the duel instead of for the gust. Because this enables this for sure, and that's rough.
Yeah, LifeCoach is holding on to these gusts really hard.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I like that. That was like a gust would have been pretty clean here. He could have followed up the gust with the Mercenary Exiles to trade with that Ogre Magi, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure I like that play, honestly.
Yeah, and you know Emissary is a 3 of as well in Lumi's deck. So we have LifeCoach having the opportunity to pump his Exiles here. 15 gold for +7/+7, which is pretty good, but very vulnerable to something like an Annihilation. At the same time, at this point of the game, you don't really have anything better to spend your gold on.
Exactly. That's why I really like Mercenary Exiles in this list, considering the item package that he's running. We were talking about that earlier, but I would have liked to see this trade with the Ogre Magi after a gust.
So Treant Protector goes down, and now Zeus needs to find a lane to go into. Presumably, it'll be the left lane. Emissary taps here. Now, LifeCoach has the opportunity to take something like a time. There it is, solo time. When you've got 2 times in hand, using it on a single hero doesn't feel too bad.
Miss out on 1. Oh, ho, ho.
Second Emissary.
Second Emissary, that is.
On this lane.
Yeah, that is powerful. But with this, the thing is with this behemoth of an Ugloti here, you can draw into a Berserker's Call and you just clear everything.
Something really deadly for LifeCoach right now, though, is he's kind of committed for this right lane. He might not be able to do something like Town Portal Scroll as Axe, right? Normally, right now, you want to Town Portal Scroll Axe, contest the Zeus on the left lane, give yourself a way to maybe roar it. If it comes down and starts to try to combo, right? You have some reactivity there. There's the TP scroll that you're forced to do, but you don't feel very good doing this because the emissaries are dropped anyway. So
Lumi gives up. Lumi still. Are you sure, like, about giving up initiative there for this lane, knowing that Axe is going to go on to that? That's dangerous. That's very dangerous, especially considering how low you are on this lane. I guess he needs to. He wants to really threaten an easy ancient kill on this lane, but giving up initiative here with a Time of Triumph Axe is spooky.
Without Annihilation or Gust, there's nothing you can really do with initiative.
Well, you can always top deck him. That's the thing, right?
Well, you don't have green on the left lane, and you've used both Annihilations at this point.
Oh, he's only running 2?
Yeah.
Oh,
so there's nothing you can really do with initiative.
Okay.
It allows you to play a card, but then the Axe is just going to use maybe Roar on you anyway. So we might have to see LifeCoach just do something like take the Roar here, honestly. The reason you put Axe here is to start to try to contest this lane. At the same time, Roar is an extremely valuable resource, and you're technically saving the Zeus by pulling him out of this lane.
He does go for no shenanigans allowed, but it does spawn.
Zeus goes mid, which is really, really good for Lumi.
Well, it's not that bad for LifeCoach, though, because if Zeus does opt to go for the Incarnation of Salamene, Gust can just deny that, right? For at least for a turn here.
It's true as well. But at the same time, I mean, LifeCoach still not having taken a single tower at this point is really awkward.
Yeah, it's not good. Okay. Interesting.
We're just going to blink around everywhere. So now Lumi has the blue on this lane. Again, no Annihilation, and LifeCoach knows this. So we can see a Wrath come down. Drow dies, not able to be picked up by the Time of Triumph. We could see LifeCoach use the second Time of Triumph again on this Axe. I think he might have to save it at this point, but it would kill this tower if he does use it. 2 solo Time of Triumphs?
I mean, pushing damage on this tower...
I think the initiative might be more important.
Yeah.
You've got to save for the Gust next turn.
Oh man, this is dangerous though. This is dangerous because this deck doesn't always have to take down the Ancient. This deck can just kill you on 2 lanes, right? And the 3rd lane is already completely lost, so LifeCoach has to be very careful here. No Arcane Assault though for Lumi, which he would not have been able to play anyways, but...
So here's that chip damage coming in here. You could see a Diabolic Revelation on the side of Lumi. I mean, there's not really anything you want to draw into at this point, but this is a turn where it doesn't really cost you very much to use either. You probably want to tap the Emissary first so you don't lose the 7-2 creep. And this right lane looks really scary for LifeCoach. I mean, his tower is dying on 9, but he has to be scared about losing his Ancient next turn here.
Yeah, exactly. Like 41 damage already, 2 more procs.
A single blue hero, a single Prey on the Weak into double Emissary tap is great. I love this Blink Dagger on the side of Lumi because even when you leave this Drow, even when you leave the lane, a single blue hero plus Prey, double Quorum is still always going to be enough to take.
Yeah, this is powerful plays here by Lumi.
And if you're Life Coach, you know what this means. You have initiative, you need to take 2 lanes in 1, right? You need to develop hard on left, use initiative for Time of Triumph, and then just use the 4 damage on the Siege from the Axe, who's still mid, to win the game. So
We see an all-in from LifeCoach on the 3rd lane.
Lumi has Ogre
Oh!
first, and he's going really hard on the right lane.
Oh, but this is like LifeCoach cannot Time a Triumph here. Oh, never mind. I keep forgetting that there's no more annihilations. The fact that he knows that there's no more annihilations is so big.
Huge.
That's huge. That enables him to be so.
And he's been playing like that too. You can tell by his plays. He's committing at this point now that Lumi has
But at the same time, you can't Time a Triumph here. You just
Exactly.
can't. You can't. That incarnation, like the possibility of incarnation of Salamene is just too damn high.
Or any creep that blocks it. Because keep in mind, Lumi is winning the game on the right lane right now.
You have to Gust.
You have to take something like a Gust.
You have to Gust.
Do you have lethal potential here through Gust? There's not a way.
Okay, so Gust plus Mercenary Exiles, you just can't.
There's no way.
Oh.
So if you're a Life Coach, you have to realize that taking this tower this turn right now is impossible, which means your only strategy is trying to defend right. So now that he's Time of Triumph, he has to blink the Beastmaster right and try to defend it with the Call of the Wild as well. There's the Gust, and that's it. There's no blink on the Beastmaster. Life Coach does still have the blink on the Axe right now, but it's on cooldown.
It's on cooldown. That's it. Denied. I mean, he can try to spring the trap to try to defend.
That's his only chance. He has to hope that Spring the Trap will give him enough way to defend the right lane.
Oh my God, this is so nasty though. Like Incarnation of Salamene. No more card draw though. Well, Unearthed Secrets played here. Yeah, I think you actually use Stars Align and you double Unearthed Secrets here. You need that extra draw.
Yep. You could also, yeah. So we see Lumi's gonna expend a Prey on the Weak here. Does he have enough to be able to take this? He's gonna double Stars into Sanctum and just win this lane.
Oh!
Because you don't even need to do anything on the right side.
I forgot about the Sanctum.
You have the ability to just take anything here. They're very interesting. So we see Lumi commit the Prey on the Weak. It looks like after that, though, he is going to go for the right lane. But the Spring the Trap is an option. Didn't Lumi have the option?
I do not understand why he did not go for Stars Align into double Unearthed Secrets here to get 2 more card draws. I don't get that. That's actually very confusing to me. Like he doesn't need Stars Align on the 3rd lane anymore. Like why did he pass there? He also does not.
And the 2 Spring the Trap Centaurs here. I mean, the difference of being able to take left versus right is huge. Lumi has the double Quorum, which is great, but you have to fight against 2 Centaurs. Plus, you need to be fighting against a much higher health tower. It's going to be 80 instead of like 27.
I am so confused by him not going for this. I can't think of the reason as to why, but down goes Incarnations of Salamene. Is going to curve into the Mellow Creep right here, and
these Preys are looking pretty weak.
Yeah, there's no way he can take this down.
Yep.
If he had more cards, like
secrets for cycle. There's so many more options you can do here if you're going for.
This is a lot of power though.
Yeah.
He just needed like, I don't know, like 1 more component, and he would have been able to take this. I think. Oh man. I mean, you still Thundergod's Wrath here. I feel
you pretty much have to. It looks like you're something like 27 short.
Oh man, but then you have no more annihilations. You do have a Gust, but you can't prevent the damage here. Was this a throw from Lumi?
It might have been. I mean,
like he wasted a Prey on the Weak here.
Yeah.
I mean, he did get a multicast from it though, right? I believe, yeah, because this went down. He got a multicast for it, so that didn't end up mattering. But not placing the Unearthed Secrets on this lane prevented him from drawing an extra card.
Yeah, I mean, you draw something like a Foresight draws you into more cards. I feel like you can definitely open up your options a little more there if you're Lumi.
Oh wow.
And
yeah, this is relevant.
And
this is relevant. Gust.
There's nothing Lumi can do at this point. He has expended both of his annihilations. He has no other way of being able to stop the siege damage on the left side. Lumi playing for Blink Daggers at this point. Playing for Unearthed Secrets won't make a difference. This is a nice little gimmick you can do. You can use Unearthed Secrets in tandem with Blink Dagger. Check this out. The Centaur will deal damage now, and you get 2 free card draws, but it's not what you need right now.
It's you need that 3rd annihilation, which just does not exist. And it's just going to be a wrap. You don't have initiative. LifeCoach will drop the Gust, and that will be a clear victory on that first lane. LifeCoach going to take this first game, and I really think Lumi kind of made some heavy misplays there.
Yeah, it's possible he needed to be a little bit more flexible in his approach. One of the things about Artifact that looks maybe easier than it actually ends up being is the idea of kind of agility. You need to switch up your game plan constantly.
Yeah.
A lot of new players can get trapped in the idea of, okay, this is my game plan, and there will be an opening, usually on deployment, where you can change that rapidly and maybe go for a better plan every turn. And it looks like Lumi might have needed to be a bit more flexible there. That being said, very close game.
Close game, and LifeCoach takes the first win. He's just one win away from getting to the quarterfinals and repeating the same performance that Super JJ had against a extremely similar deck.
Yep. All he needs is that one game. So what do you think about specifically Lumi's exact variant of this list? You were saying you would like to see the version with 3 Annihilation?
Yeah, I like triple Annihilation in these sort of. I think Annihilation is kind of what keeps you alive. I think it's a very powerful resource for this sort of build. I'm actually a fan of his double Obliterating Orb. I think it can go a long way in the mirror, and even against red green ramp, it can be pretty key against I don't know, for example, like a cheating death. I like that, but I definitely do miss that third Annihilation personally. And here we go.
Double dual Bronze Legionnaire, the perfect hand for LifeCoach.
It's an honor.
And Bronze Legionnaire onto Kana. Gonna take no damage from Kana because Kana is weak AF as he has 2 armor onto that Bronze Legionnaire, and that's a strong opening here for LifeCoach. Triad versus Triad again, and Axe in the third lane here.
And LifeCoach holding onto this duel. He's got the 2 in hand, opportunity to use it. I love this restraint Mogwai. We keep talking. One of the themes in this tournament is the turn 1 duel. We mentioned it a few times, and I love to see major restraint being shown on this. Very powerful tool. You gotta save it for later.
I agree. It's so key later down the line. On turn 2, I like it a lot.
Even turn 2 is fine because you're blocking out these 4 mana options.
Exactly.
Which 2 and 3 mana options much less important to block out.
Especially against this deck, like this blue-green deck does not really care about losing a hero turn 1.
LifeCoach always looks so concerned when he's playing. Like he is an extremely cool and collected person, but he always just looks so concerned. Look at those furrowed brows.
Well, what I miss about LifeCoach when he is in high stakes tournaments is you miss that role play aspect of his. The that doesn't happen, and that makes me a little bit sad because I enjoy his sound effects.
Yeah, didn't we do that once at his place?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get invited back.
Well, to be fair, I didn't either.
So the Rose Leaf Druid comes down, finds the curve into the Bronze Legionnaire, which is absolutely what Lumi wanted here. Now, LifeCoach has a duel opportunity, and I gotta say, I really love this duel.
I like it
Keeps the Bronze Legionnaire alive, kills the Rose Leaf Druid. I think that people, as they first start learning Artifacts, they might overemphasize heroes. Being able to kill these high-power creeps that stay dead is really important.
And Rose Leaf Druid is extremely threatening in this deck. All you need is a Stars Align, and you can curve out into an emissary of the Quorum. So getting rid of Rose Leaf Druid, it's a very viable dual target for sure.
Yep. So now we see initiative on the side of Lumi. He has the option to just Foresight here, or you could develop a Prey on the Weak for 4 dogs. Pretty good play. Goes for the Foresight. He just wants to play very passively here.
It is a combo
Not really
deck.
worried about this lane.
Yeah, it is a combo deck. You need to draw your combo pieces. I like him being patient here. He has not taken any damage yet in lane 1. Kana is going to have a couple of melee creeps here to slow him down again. Lane 2 is looking a little bit spooky for him, and lane 3 is also looking a little bit spooky. So he needs to be careful here because this variant that focuses on the Incarnation of Salamene combo, as we mentioned numerous times, does not run the likes of Dimensional Portal. So only Prey on the Weak is your immediate, blocking sort of play in a way. Like you don't have that other swarm capability. And you have to be very, very conservative with your Prey on the Weaks because they are part of your win condition.
Yeah, and we see Kana just getting absolutely trashed in this lane. I mean, we look at this left lane, double deployment. We're able to kill the Kana, kill every melee creep, and nothing on LifeCoach's side is really taking damage. The Bronze Legionnaires are down to 1, might be picked off by this Ignite in a little bit, but I mean, LifeCoach has secured this lane very well for putting almost no resources into it.
Either Duel or Gus would go down here. I think it's too Too much of a solid. Like, that's the thing. We've seen LifeCoach be very conservative with his Gust, right? But he's going to opt to go for the Celemated Favor instead. So not really denying what could be a very powerful prey on the week here.
Yep.
And instead setting up some ramp. Interesting.
Prey is an option. LifeCoach can't always respond with something like Mercenary Exiles. Lumi's just going to keep fishing through his deck, though.
Okay.
Bit of a factoid. LifeCoach is pretty of the opinion that Kana is an overrated card. This is kind of the reason why. I mean, when you're able to punish her, you can turn this ability of hers into a downside by really targeting this lane, putting the Bronze Legionnaire right in front of her. I mean, that just trades so well over 3 turns.
That's a statement that confuses a lot of, especially newer players. Because you look at Kana's abilities, like, well, you can control the military coming to your lane. That's really good. And a lot of times, especially in Constructed, that can be as much of as it is a good thing. It can be a liability as well if your opponent can capitalize on that. And that's a good example of that. Like, when you are able to defeat Kana's lane and you overtake it, then the other 2 lanes are wide open.
So I gotta say, this game looks really in the favor of LifeCoach here. You don't need to use the duel here because your opponent already passed, so you know there's nothing gonna be played on their part. But we can see LifeCoach has already won this middle lane, right? We even have the Blink Dagger on the Beastmaster already. So the Beastmaster can even go somewhere else. No blue deployments for Lumi, no mobility. This is exactly what you want. And this is kind of what you get by using the precise timing to kill the heroes, right? If you had taken something like the duel on the Ogre earlier, then the blue hero comes back next turn and it just kind of gives you that mobility.
And you got the annihilator. He killed the heroes, he killed the blue heroes in the exact turn he needed to, turn 3. Killing blue heroes turn 3 denies them coming in for an annihilation, and we see a desperate Gust here from Lumi to slow LifeCoach down. That Ignite, though, was very powerful, was able to slow him down considerably, and it does force LifeCoach to equip these cloaks, perhaps utilize some healing salves to prevent these 2 heroes from dying next turn to an upkeep kill. He's most definitely got that kill on the second lane, though. I expect a blink out of there with that Beastmaster. And he could proceed to... He's got to be careful, because if he blinks to the right, that's going to give him initiative for that Ogre Magi and enable the Lumi there to annihilate. So, do you... Okay, there's no initiative there, so now you just got to blink. But do you blink to the left? Because I think you definitely got to blink out here. You already got lethal on and you got to pressure, unless you're looking to hunt down the Ancient, but that's not generally the strategy you want to go for when you're facing a blue focus deck.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a LifeCoach, you have a few options here. You actually didn't even need to give up initiative on the left side because you had guaranteed lethal from his perspective without using any items on the left side. It's in response to the Gust, you pass across, you kill this tower, you have the Berserker's Call onto the Axe, freeing up enough damage to take this tower with Blink Dagger already. It doesn't end up mattering, of course, because with LifeCoach, even though you are giving up the potential to kill the right lane this turn, it still will fall invariably. I don't know if Lumi can find a way back from this position.
This kind of forces annihilation here. The threat of Berserker's Call is too real. Unless... Because Prey on the Weak doesn't do anything. You have to annihilate, and this feels bad. Because... It
feels very bad.
But this does give Lumi the chance, like... When did LifeCoach give up initiative on this first lane? I don't recall.
After the Gust was played, he played health items. Remember you were talking about salves.
I think he may have missed lethal there then.
Yeah,
it's over.
It was a miss on lethal, but it doesn't end up mattering.
Wow. No annihilation play for Lumi, and that's it. That was quick.
I think Lumi just kind of giving up the goat at that point. Like, there's just not too much you can do from that position. Like, when the opponent wins all 3 lanes, it's sort of like in Dota sometimes. Typically, you expect 2 out of 3 lanes to be won on one side. When 3 lanes go wrong, I mean, something went terribly wrong for you. And it's really hard to recover from that.
I mean, he still could have fought for the first lane, though, but there were if he gave up Annihilation there, then obviously he also gave up initiative on the first lane with 3 red heroes, and all LifeCoach needed to do is use a Gust and just kind of solidify his position there. But that was impressive, dominating performance by LifeCoach. What do you guys think about that?